I read a book, so naturally I had to make a video about it. There has been this part of my dream life that I have been totally neglecting. I have been building my dream house, I've been working really hard on my career, and I even stuck to my workout routine pretty well. But what I have not thought about at all for the whole entire year is money. But that changes today. There's still 4 months left in the year, and that is the perfect opportunity to build long-lasting financial habits. But before we dive deep into my finances and some financial habits, I wanted to touch on why we are so bad with money. It seems to be a very generic thing of people being either really good with money or really bad. But why are we so bad with it? Finances are a skill. It is a skill that needs to be developed, and it's actually quite a hard skill to develop. But then imagine that you're living in a world that is completely set up against you developing that skill. I'm not from the States, but I can, for example, imagine having to deal with student debt. And that is not your fault. The same thing with medical bills. It is not your fault for needing medical attention. Everywhere there is marketing and people screaming at you, don't save, buy this, buy this, buy that, buy that. Everything around you is screaming to consume. You have been born into a world that was made to consume. It is not your fault for complying to the norm. And then there's a bunch of influencers always posting the new designer bag, the newest trip, all these really expensive things that you then believe that you have to live your dream life. But what they forget to tell you is that they basically don't pay for a single thing. Finances are also highly personal. We judge our financial decisions on what we know and where we come from. Somebody from a rich family will make vastly different decisions than someone coming from a poor one. And that doesn't mean that one is better than the other. But if the proper example of dealing with money wasn't set for you, you're missing out on a huge privilege because you don't know what you're actually supposed to be doing, and you will be a lot more susceptible to a lot of different advice coming from different places, and thus you are more inclined to make the wrong decisions, which again isn't your fault. And the last big component to being bad with your finances is psychological, because we are made to believe that people with money are bad. A lot of villains are after money. A lot of people envy people with money, making them out to be the bad guys for not having that money themselves. We as a society tend to value people who spend a lot of money and who have a lot of nice things, but those who actually are smart with their finances and who save and who invest are looked upon as greedy, not wanting to share. And that is something that we all need to work through if we want to become better with money. So how do we put this into action? Like I mentioned, I neglected my finances quite a bit over this whole year, and I'm going to start improving them today. And the first really big advice that I can give is don't overcomplicate it. If you go and look financial education up on Instagram, TikTok, or even YouTube, you will see people with these massively complicated spreadsheets, and that is not the one. That is not where you want to start. Start with the simplest spreadsheet that you can make. It's about getting a vision on your finances, not about becoming a financial wizard right away. Second, start with saving over investing. And I have two reasons for this. One, saving will give you more freedom than investing will. If you want to build your dream life, savings will be the first thing that you need, because savings equals freedom. It will allow you to wait for the right opportunity to come, to not have to take the first job when you're laid off from another. It will allow you to take a little bit more vacations, not have to put in as many hours if you don't want to. Money equals freedom. So saving equals freedom. Second, because it's easy. Saving is a lot easier than investing. So it's that first financial habit that you can build before you dip your toes into the very complicated world of investing. Third tip is to understand the difference between rich and wealthy. Rich is the things that you see. Wealth is the things that you don't see. Wealth is the money that isn't spent. It's the money that's in saving accounts, in investments, the things that you can't touch, the things that you can't brag with. Rich on the other hand, is the huge car in your driveway and the mansion to which that driveway then belongs. It is the flashing with your money. But flashing with your money and buying all these expensive things while being very, very fun aren't gonna get you to that financial freedom. Because in order to have the financial freedom, you need to have the money. And money spent is money gone. A lot of people have this dream of becoming a millionaire, myself included. But ask yourself whether you want to have $1 million or whether you want to spend $1 million. And for a lot of people, it is the latter. But then you're not a millionaire. And I'm not saying that you can't have nice things, that you need to understand that in order to have financial freedom, you need to prioritize wealth over being rich. And a last tip that everybody gives you, but that I really need and that I need to hear, and that you might also still need to hear, is automate the shit out of your finances.
Now let's talk about my finances, because I know you're all curious. I followed my own example here. I made my finances as simple as I could possibly make them, and so my spreadsheet used to be a lot more complicated than this, but this is what we have ended up with. I personally work as a freelancer, which means that I get to send out my invoices up until 2 months in advance, so that I can fill out September, October and November, because I know exactly the amount of money that will be coming in. I can calculate because I have a daily rate and I know how many days I will be working, so I also did a rough estimate of December. But I have different freelance jobs, so for my first freelance job is what I earn the most money from, and then for my second freelance job is a lot less. YouTube right now is on 0, but I hope that it grows in the future. We have to pay sales tax and then we also have to pay regular tax. So I deduct that from both of these. And I also, because I don't need the freelance to money, I add it to the tax money just so that I'm over by the end of the year, and then I can get tax deductions. I'm rather safe than sorry. I made a very, very simple overview of outs, and that this is my in, this is my out. I have wants and I have savings. So the things that are my outs are my rent, my groceries, subscriptions and bills. They are set every month, so this amount doesn't change unless I move somewhere else. I really want to start investing for retirement and investing. For the house, I save this month it's 1,000, and then I have a stupid shit fund which allows me to make mistakes and take a little bit more risks in life. Then I use this amount of money and I deduct all of the expenses from it, and then I have my spending money left over for the month. So this I can spend on anything that I want to. October looks kind of the same, except that I took a vacation, almost half as what it was from the month before, so that kind of sucks. So there's no saving involved. And then December is the highest possible amount of money that I can earn in a month from my freelance one job. That means that I can ramp up the savings to 2,000 for the house. And that is basically my very, very simple spreadsheet. Also, my spending here is a little higher because December, of course, is a holiday month. And I highly encourage you to think about the same. Anticipate for the expenses that you will have.
So now that I've shown you my budget, you might have seen that I still have a little bit of money allocated to investing. And it is something that I really want to start focusing on more from next year on. But I'm a noob in this, so maybe we noobs can relate to each other. Don't take my advice as the Bible. Investing is scary, investing is difficult, and it can seem really, really, really overwhelming. But there's a couple of concepts that you need to understand. And the first thing is that time is your biggest asset. Understanding that time helps you to earn a lot more money because of this thing called compound interest. Compound interest means that money will grow exponentially over time. So it's, if you want to start investing, the best place to start investing is for retirement. Often banks or even governments have structures set up to encourage saving for retirement. So it's the easiest way to dabble in investing a little bit while learning it in a safe way, and then after a while you can start investing in other ways. So I wanted to end the video by talking a little bit about my own investment goals and the things that I want to reach in the upcoming year or so. For now, my biggest priority is buying a house. So me and my partner were saving up for a down payment, and I am hoping to save around 30K in the upcoming year. Now I know that that's a lot of money and I don't know whether I will actually succeed, but I like to set my goals high. Next to that, I also really want to start saving for retirement. I'll put 100 euros aside each month into my personal retirement account, and through my business I will also do 4,000 a year, which is the max that you're able to do. And with the current prospects, that should give me a return of around 160k in my personal account and 250 in my business, which is crazy. And that is what compound interest can do for you. Now, I understand if you can't do the same thing, and if that's a lot of money for you, try to put the maximum amount that you can aside and maybe calculate it online to see to how much that would amount. And it's a very good motivator. All I'm gonna say about it. And then lastly, from 2024 on, I really want to focus on regular investing as well, but take a lot more risks with those investments because I'm already saving for retirement, so I can afford to take the risks with investing and hopefully generate a lot higher returns. In the description box, I'm gonna link some of my favorite YouTubers who I actually personally learned from when it comes to financial education. It's both American and European YouTubers who helped me get a grip on my finances. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Toodaloo!